It is July 2nd, and on Today in Murder, we ask, was Amelia Earhart a spy? The mystery of Amelia Earhart to this day is a hot topic, so let's go over Amelia herself and why, maybe, just maybe, she was murdered. Amelia Earhart was born and raised in Atchison, Kansas, and from a very young age, she had a passion for adventure. Earhart was in just her 20s when she steadily began gaining flying experience. Now, let's fast forward to 1932, when Earhart became the first woman to make a non-stop solo transatlantic flight. Unfortunately, this incredible achievement and adrenaline-fueled adventure seeking is how she met her fate. Now, just 5 years later, Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan, during an attempt to fly across the entire world, had disappeared without a trace. Or did they? To get into today's story, we have to rewind a bit as well as take some liberties, as almost nothing is for sure known about the July 2nd incident. While there are a few theories of what happened to Amelia, nothing has concrete facts. People love to create stories and rationalize things, especially with beloved celebrities. We've all heard the story of Tupac living in Cuba after faking his death, or Elvis, or any death that's tragic and shocking. This is what we do. As humans, the mystery is what we love. We want answers, and when there isn't any, we create them. Let's dive into one theory about the Earhart July 2nd incident. Did they land safely, but just on another island? Amelia knew she was running low on fuel. There was almost no room for error in her flight path, and the islands in that area were very small and spread out. Amelia was planned to land on Howard Island. Some believe she landed on an island known as Gardner Island when she couldn't find Howard Island. Gardner Island is a deserted island nearby Howard Island. From the research of the International Historic Aircraft Recovery Group, they believe she successfully landed with Fred Noonan but passed away as castaways sometime after never being located. There's one issue with this theory. Where's the plane? If Earhart and Noonan did safely land, sure, they'd be dead after some time. The plane wouldn't just disappear once they died, though. Moving on to the next theory, that Earhart and Noonan were captured by the Japanese government. I know, this one's a little crazy. To rationalize this one, I'll let you know, at this point in time, the Japanese and United States were not allies. There was major tensions between us. This was not a good time to fly into Japanese airspace as an American. Part of the reason Earhart had to fly the path she did was due to the tensions between the world at the time. After leaving Laos to avoid any problems, she was to land on Howard Island, a tiny island in the Pacific where even the smallest miscalculation could result in a complete miss of the island or getting lost. If this theory is true, the idea is Earhart did in fact miss the island or purposely flew another path to land in the Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands were Japanese territory. In this theory, it's believed Earhart and Noonan landed safely and got taken into custody by Japan as prisoners. There is a photo from the Marshall Islands showing where she does appear in a photograph near Fred Noonan. The Japanese insisted repeatedly they had nothing to do with the disappearance and have no records of the pair being taken into custody. This could very easily be true. The case of Amelia Earhart could be solved if any record indicated that she was taken into custody. But there isn't. And for now, despite the very damning photo, this is just a theory. So, was Amelia Earhart a spy for the United States government? Some believe yes. Maybe the answer to the mystery is that Earhart never intended to fly to Howard Island. Instead, Amelia and Noonan were on a mission to document the goings-ons of the Japanese islands for the United States government. Maybe when they were detected by the Japanese, they were either shot down or forced to land. But here's why that's simply not true. The type of radar and surveillance equipment this mission would require was just not available in 1937. The radio equipment in Earhart's plane was also ridiculously out of date. In fact, Earhart chose to not take a trailing antenna or parachutes. She said they added too much extra weight. In order to take the picture a spying mission would require, she would have needed an aerial camera mounted onto her plane, which obviously would weigh more than the parachutes she refused to carry. Remember, Amelia was crossing the entire world, stopping all over the place. Even if Amelia's plane had been equipped with an aerial camera, it would have required an elaborate international conspiracy full of mechanics, inspectors, and foreign governments in order to keep it a secret. The plane was repaired and inspected repeatedly during its global voyage. Someone along the way surely would have noticed the special equipment and reported it. This was 1937. These things were massive. Realistically, the plane would have a hard time even taking off. If that's not enough, details of the flight path weren't secret. Through newspaper and radio, her movements as she crossed the globe were tracked by the general public. This is not a great setup for a secret agent. Amelia Earhart was an amazing pilot and an amazing woman. Despite all the theories, the plane has never been found. We don't know what happened. Some believe they found her bones, but they can't be verified. Some believe they found the plane, but no proof has been shown. Despite no evidence of her being murdered, it is also incredibly possible that she was. It's sad to think the best case scenario was a quick crash into the ocean. Mystery is in all of us, and when something isn't proven, we are desperate for an answer. Today is July 2nd, and on Today in Murder, that was the disappearance of Amelia Earhart.